Mural debate reignites as Korean-American coalition launches new campaign. Los Angeles. The debate over a school mural in Koreatown has pitted community members who called the work racist against anti-censorship artists and free speech advocates. Now a new and the mural by Bo Stanton at the Robert F. Kennedy Community Schools complex depicts the face of Ava Gardner, who frequented the Coconut Grove nightclub that once stood on the Wilshire Boulevard site. But the orange-red, the Los Angeles Unified School District, agreed in early December to erase the mural. The school district, now a group of art world professionals organized under the name Gilpo, loosely meaning Korean diaspora, is resurrecting the issue and calling for the mural to be removed or substantially altered. Gilpo has sent symbols. Other Gilpo members include Nancy Lee, Senior Manager of Public Relations at the Hammer Museum, and Christine Y. Kim, Associate Curator of Contemporary Art at the Los Angeles County Museum of Art and co-founder of Gilpo, though both Lee and Kim emphasized they are not participating on behalf of their employers. They downplayed any "we." The school district said it's close to a decision. "We." In its letter, Gilpo acknowledged that Stanton didn't purposefully evoke the Japanese battle flag or intend to upset the local community. Nonetheless, the latter how the mural debate has been framed and by whom is of particular importance to Gilpo. Until now, it's Gilpo especially takes issue with people who aren't of Korean descent who have said the mural doesn't resemble the battle flag or isn't offensive, including artist Shepard Fairey and Times art critic Christopher Knight. They can't fully whether the mural does or doesn't resemble the Japanese imperial flag is of secondary importance, Kim said. The letter to LAUSD officials comes from Gilpo 11-person steering committee and other community members and includes artist and UC Irvine professor emerita Yong Soon Min and various Small Fires Gallery owner Esther Verit Kim, who also say they're acting as independent Angelenos, not on behalf of their arts organizations. Other petitioners include Korea Arts Foundation of America board member Ellie Lee. Southern California as the Hammers. Lee said she didn't feel any tension here between the defense of artistic expression, the call for cultural sensitivity and the suggestion that the mural be removed or altered. Stanton said there's no connection between his RFK work and the Japanese battle flag, which features 32 rays around a red circle, whereas his RFK work has 44 rays in red, orange and blue. He has used the sun. The mural was part of a larger 2016 project in which LAUSD and the LA firm Branded Arts put up 28 outdoor works around the RFK Community Schools campus. Stanton and the Alison Tognatos, a Filipino artist who goes by the name Waymon, and David Torres, who is of Puerto Rican Jewish descent and half the art duo Circle, were also part of the RFK mural project. Both came to stand as the call to remove or alter the Stanton mural is not censorship but rather a request to. Gilpo suggested that Stanton could paint a new mural, or RFK students and staff could paint a replacement mural in conjunction with the community. If Stanton said he'd be willing to change the red-orange stripes to yellow. The act of especially compromise is welcome. Visit the Los Angeles Times at
Raindrop, drop top, top smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that.